Hello, hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? Hello, everyone. I hope you're okay. Tonight is all about you. We're doing preventive maintenance and checks. Do you guys know what preventive maintenance? Well, anyone that's been in the military probably knows, right? That's me just checking out the vehicles. Let me see. See that? It's at the motor pool. We're at the motor pool, right? And we're making some checks into the vehicles, checks into the Humvees. We're checking everything, right? What we're gonna do is we're gonna check for, well, does it need an oil change? Well, so let's look at the paperwork. Does it need grease in any particular axle, any particular place where grease should go? We got to grease it up good and nice. Do any parts need to be changed? This sometimes happen. Things happen. But what I want to know is about you. I want to talk to you guys. Mondays are about you. We're going to go over some preventive maintenance checks, health checks on yourself, health checks on your sanity, health checks on your equipment, your computers. Are you cleaning those fans on your computer, or are they full of dust and cat hair? And do they have as much lint as a dryer? As a week-long used dryer, when you forget it and it just accumulates there like a mat. You're cleaning your computers. Even with desktops, they need a cleaning. What do your keyboards look like? What about your phones? Are you cleaning the gunk out of the microphone? Sometimes you guys call in shows and your microphone sounds terrible. Maybe it's just full of gunk. Maybe you got to clean them. Huh? Maybe you guys need some tips on computer, need on some tips on everything. This is very important in America, especially in America. There's a lot of traveling in America. Let me put myself back on the screen. Especially in America, there's a lot of traveling in America. It's very important. So I want to make it about you. Have some, grease the gears in your brain. What has you thinking? What is, yes, Cheeto dust in the keyboard. Apparently someone has found some Cheeto dust in the keyboard. Sometimes with some keyboards, they're mechanical keyboards. You can just take the keys out, give it a little once over with a little vacuum. It's very important. I want to know what's on your mind. What in America, or even if you're not from America, what do you want to know about America? What's on your mind? You guys are warriors in the cyberspace, right? So we got to have preventative maintenance and checks on you. This is something we did in the Army a lot. It was called PMCS Monday. You have to have preventative maintenance checks and services. It's very important. No, you're not. Okay. Look, these things happen. You don't plan for it. It just happens. All right. These things happen. Sometimes you can't prevent it. Right. There have been some things happen. What happened? Have you watched Paraguay versus Germany? I have not watched it. I have not watched at all Paraguay versus Germany. I want to be real with you guys. I'm going to be real. Yes, I'm Latino, but in Puerto Rico is more like America. So we don't really watch ball foot. Ball foot is not, a sport that we follow here. I know you guys in Europe, you love the ball foot. And other places in Latin America, they love the ball foot too. But over here, we watch football and basketball, mostly basketball. Paraguay beat Germany in a penalty shooting. All right, there you go, Paraguay. You guys, you know what? I think, share some stuff that's going on in the Americas, but let me see how I can put this. It's not really something, what can I say here? I'm trying to find a video. Okay, this is from around three hours ago. All right. This is what's going on in Latin America. Well, let me put this here. Here.
Meanwhile, you got it. To a Fox News alert, a desperate search continues in Venezuela. You got thousands of people still unaccounted for after two powerful earthquakes struck last week. Now, the death toll is now nearing 1,500. Nate Foy is live in Venezuela with the latest on the recovery efforts. Hey, Nate.
Hey, Brian. So just in the past few minutes, we actually learned the death toll has surpassed 1,700. Things are getting worse. Hope is dwindling, but there is still a glimmer of hope as rescue crews are hard at work trying to find any survivors underneath rubble like this. I'm standing at a collapsed.
Okay, so here's the important part about this. Time is of the essence. That's why rescue crews were sent immediately from many nations, like from all over the world. Like even Turkey sent some people. And I believe like the people from Turkey, they have a lot of earthquake experience, right? Like these aren't soldiers. We're not, this isn't a political thing. These are rescue workers, and rescue workers, like, you know, you could have been a soldier, you could have been a cop, but you decided to be a rescue worker. You know, it's a hard work. You know, you're going into danger. So I kind of respect those people no matter where they're from, especially when they're going to other countries to do what they do. You know what I'm talking about?
Apartment complex where earlier today, Brian, we spoke on Fox and Friends, and just after that hit, we saw 4 different rescuers go into this.
We're going to look into this. Okay. I'm going to star this, and we're going to look into it.
Cavity right here. Below this is the former parking garage of this old apartment complex, and I'm told that they did find bodies down there, several victims. Over my shoulder, you can see there's quite a bit of activity here as Venezuelan authorities do everything they can to comb through the damage. It's dangerous work because there's been several aftershocks. I told you that we felt one at 7 a.m. this morning, but this is an international effort led by the Americans in many respects. Take a live look at a picture not far from where we are as our crew is at the port of La Guaira. This is where 130 U.S. Marines arrived. They're going to open the port so that more supplies can come in here. They're also going to expand. A different team, a U.S. team, is going to expand operations at the international airport. And this is on top of the search and rescue teams from Florida, California, and Virginia operating under the State Department's Disaster Assistance Response Team, which is led by Erin McGee. I spoke with her. Listen to her here.
What I've seen here on the ground is a really robust response that includes more than 300 people from our side, elite disaster response experts that are on the ground conducting search and rescue operations, but also working together, coordinating with the entire international community.
Yeah, Brian, and despite receiving that help from the international community, Venezuelans tell Fox more help is needed.
We need people, we need help, we need Starlink. Nobody can communicate with their family because there is no Wi-Fi, there's no electricity, no water, nothing.
All right. Now, when they're talking about Starlink was given to Puerto Rico by Elon Musk when we had a really big hurricane a couple of years ago. I think it was around 6 years ago, in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. And it helped greatly because it helped the hospitals communicate. He also gave us batteries for like these are talking hospital level batteries for the hospitals. because there were problems with the power grid. So Elon did help us a lot. He's probably going to help these people because that's, he's kind of like a philanthropist. He likes to help people. Like there are terrible philanthropists out there, but I believe he is one of the good ones. So he's going to be doing that.
That woman tells Fox, Brian, that her sons came here to La Guaira yesterday with Starlinks, hoping that one of the survivors trapped in the rubble would be able to connect and then send a message out to their loved ones and communicate that to the rescue teams here on the ground. The State Department has increased the humanitarian assistance to $300 million, and they're now partnering with private companies like Walmart to get the supplies that are badly needed here and deliver it to the people who are suffering. We'll send it back to you, Brian.
All right, Nate.
All right, thanks for watching. Check out my new.
Okay, I want to show you something else. Something that is just incredible. Okay, check this out. You see this?
Anime, las columnas, esta maldita mierda gobierno maldito, es anime.
Do you know what that is?
O sea, acá es el mío. O sea, acá es. Por aquí le ponen.
Can you see why the buildings fell? Do you guys know what that is?
Medio cemento.
That's right. Can you remember what delegation was in Venezuela when Maduro got captured? Who was over there with him? Who was meeting with him? Yeah, anybody remember? It was China. China has been helping with a lot of the infrastructure. And these are styrofoam. Instead of concrete. Yes. Like this is what was going on. This is what's going on. China. Yeah, that's how you say it. This is like the correct spelling. China. Timu building. They actually call it tofu drag, but Timu is an acceptable substitute. Now, what's going on is that this is like in column structures where they're supposed to fill in and put rebar. And some of the strength walls.
No quedó uno arriba.
This is why the whole buildings fell.
Así, ¿no ves?
See that?
Nos van a caer el mío. Todo el medio es anime.
Oh, China builds so fast because they have a command economy. Look at that.
Ay, nadie loco el mío. Yo, con razón, toda esta mierda se cayó.
He's saying, no wonder all this shit fell down.
Marico, weón. Aquel día no, maldito hijos de perra, vale.
They are really pissed because, like, a lot of people died because of that, right? That was one of the big problems. These people apparently have lost some family under this rubble, right? And this is what they're saying. Okay.
¿Cómo van a hacer una cintura?
Dios mío.
Esto lo único culpable son ellos. Los demás edificios están parados. Como todos se derrumbaron.
Qué horror.
Saying they all fell down. She's talking about the buildings. And he's saying that they are the guilty ones. She's crying because, like, I'm guessing her friends and family are dead in there, right? And yeah, that's New York's future. That's New York's future. That's how they build quickly, throwing up infrastructure without fundamentals of environment. And yes, materials matter. Yes, well, I mean, they all got to like take a cut, right? There's all a whole lot of corruption. And by the time everybody has taken their cut, you know, there's not enough money for real materials, so they put in fake ones.
Dios. ¿Cómo?
You see how they put like It's got an outside shell of cement, but inside it's all styrofoam. You see that? All styrofoam construction.
Anime.
No se van a caer, mira.
This, we saw some of this.
Lo hicieron por hacer, marico, weón. Aquel día
That's what's going on there. So this is what happens when you have a building that's made of styrofoam with people in it. I want you to understand. I want you to picture yourself tofu dreg. This is the correct word. This is the exact correct word. Hey, let me stop this. This is the exact correct word, tofu dreg, right? So you're going to do some preventive maintenance and checks into your infrastructure, right? Because that's what we do. You don't want to be like these socialists, right? Yeah, this is Samantha's communism in action. Yeah. All right, let's look into this. There's no audio, but I imagine you're in these buildings. Or your loved ones are in here. You see? Belt and road bullshit. This is correct. Now, these people like to indebt the government and say, okay, we're going to lend you so much money. You're going to give us so much of your resources. Okay, where's my money? Well, we're not really going to give you money. What we're doing is we're going to send our companies that are going to send some infrastructure projects for you that are worth that much money. But they abuse the workers. They cheat the construction. And sometimes they don't even finish it. Right? Is there a lot of Chinese construction in Venezuela? I believe most of the ones that fell are Chinese. The older ones didn't fall. There's a reason for that. Like I mean, I don't wish this on anyone, but if you ever visit China, don't stay in a new place. Stay somewhere that's 40 years old. It may look shittier, but I mean, it won't fall down. This is also very true. They did this with the trains in Africa, I believe also in India. They had some kind of deal with India because Modi is like very lukewarm on China. The Indians in general don't like China, but Modi's kind of like very, I don't know. I don't understand Modi. He's kind of stupid. Oh. Not just the dam in Ethiopia. I think the dam in Ethiopia, you're talking about the dam that had a whole bunch of toxic material in it? There was a dam that had a whole bunch of toxic material that spilled everywhere. All right, so to get in power, Chavez and Maduro started giving people free houses, right? This was the theft, right? So they started offering everybody free housing. It's like, oh my God, these rich people, terrible. We're gonna give you free housing. All right, okay. Look at your free housing. Worth every penny. These people are lucky those buildings ain't taller.
La casa del gobierno la hicieron como de anime, mira, como de goma espuma con...
They call them anime houses. I don't know why they call it anime houses. It wasn't the Japanese building it, but that's what they call it.
Con lata, una loca. Mira,
You see all that?
Como espuma con lata, no sé. Eso ni siquiera es acero, como aluminio con goma.
Aluminum and foam. You see the foam here? I don't know if you guys can see it. This looks like I don't understand this because it looks like insulation, but they don't really use insulation in these parts of the country. This could be, I don't understand this because we don't use insulation. It's too hot. We want the air to escape. We want the heat to escape, not stay in.
Espuma en las casas aquí.
I mean, they have quality control. It's just like, terrible quality. The only thing they want to really control is their cut. These are the poor people. They are the ones that kind of supported Chavez because they didn't have no homes, and he built home for them. She's not supposed to do that. Like when you're in a place like this, you can't like go over there and cry. It could be spray foam. It might be spray foam. Why don't you do? I worked as a relief worker here for a hurricane, not this last one, but when I was younger. And one of the instructions that we got from FEMA is like, hey, no matter what's happening, don't cry in front of these people because you're there to help. And if the help is crying, they're going to feel even more hopeless. You're the one that's supposed to be the rock that's telling them, hey, I'm here to help you. Everything's going to be all right. So a rescue worker is not ever supposed to cry in front of the people. What they tell us is like, if you got to go to the bathroom, talk to somebody, say, hey, this is getting heavy. Take care of this person. Tell them I'll be right back. Let me go in the bathroom and like wash my face. That kind of thing. Yeah, FEMA. I work for FEMA. So this is what's going on. With the tofu drag housing in Venezuela. It's disgusting. It's just literally disgusting. I don't have any words. This guy is saying like, pay attention. The Chavistas will deny this. But this is the reality. Here you can see in the construction that they used anime. Now, anime is polystyrene, expanding polystyrene. See it?
Estos son los famosos bloques de anime de la misión vivienda de estos bloques. OPD.
He called it Vision. Oh my God. Vivienda is like housing mission.
Las paredes eran de esto. Anime. Yo no soy experta. Tampoco he investigado. No sé si esto es correcto o no.
She says, look, I'm not an expert. I'm not an investigator. I don't know if this is correct or not.
Impresión.
It's not.
No me hace mucho sentido, pero entiendo que alguna norma de construcción debe haber aprobado esto.
I understand that someone in the construction company and the regulators must have approved this.
Lo curioso, para hacer un poco más equilibrado, es que esta es de anime y cayó por completo, pero aquella también, y se mantuvo. Entiendo que el asunto está en la estructura. Para decir verdad, construyen, pero...
She's saying this one is anime and it fell, and that one is also anime and it stayed up. I'm guessing it stayed up because it's not just that it's anime, it's also badly constructed. Right? And it's not anime. We call it polystyrene. It's tofu drag. So maybe these guys put anime on higher floors and the ones that stayed up, but the ones that fell from the bottom had that tofu drag all the way from the bottom. You understand what I'm saying?
En otros países desarrollados, incluso son de cartón. Así.
Okay, here she says in some developed countries, they do it in cardboard. They don't do that on walls that carry weight, right? I know what she's talking about. She's talking about drywall. We call it cardboard. Yes, American homes are made of drywall, but they have a solid wood frame and they have okay, you got to understand, to Latinos, American homes are kind of strange because we build a lot of concrete, solid concrete, right? So, and when it's not concrete, it's mostly wood, like all wood. So it's a little odd to us. It's like, why do Americans build all these wooden homes? It's like, well, you got, I don't know, millions, billions of acres of forest. Kind of makes sense. It's renewable. You can plant more trees. I don't know if you can plant more concrete. So, there's that part.
Que, bueno, juzguen ustedes. Algún experto me explicará si esto es lo correcto o no. ¿En qué influye para que sea?
She's confused. She's saying, why does this one that had this material fall and the other one stay up? My guess is the other one was solid lower. It had more floors on the bottom of concrete. And then as it went up, that's when it got a little waffly. It's mason bricks. We use mason bricks and some mason bricks. And at the corners of the room, you use you poured concrete. Like you'll have all the corners of the house and the corners of the insides of the structure. You'll have a wall that's they call it a weight wall, the wall that's going to carry the weight of the building. Right, that's going to have a I don't know, cinder blocks or mason. They're very big gray blocks. That's what we use. But that's only center, walls that aren't carrying any weight, like unimportant walls. There's walls, sometimes especially in the outside walls, that have to be poured concrete with rebar in the middle. Right? Why? Why do this? Because the roof is poured concrete. We make poured concrete roofing with a lot of rebar, like an ungodly amount of rebar, and it's a pretty solid house, right? Because we have to make it withstand wind. Like the big problem here is wind and water, right? So if you're worried about wind and water, well, if you're making a house out of concrete and rebar, and the outside walls are basically poured concrete, right? You'll have a center or more than one center wall that's poured concrete with rebar, and the roof is basically just a layer of poured concrete and rebar. The hurricane ain't gonna do shit. Like, it takes a big, like that strong hurricane, it didn't really destroy the homes. What destroyed the homes was water. What killed the people was water. It flooded. It was the flooding that hurt people. And the flood didn't hurt the house, but the people drowned. That was the real problem. Flash floods. Like, after the hurricane was over, people just hosed their house off. It's usually tile floors. Like, we don't use wood floors, and poured concrete and rebar. That's what we use in the walls. Oh, they can't sue. These are government housings. They would have to sue themselves. Look, these guys are going to have an election. And I'm sure they're going to remember this, because the party that did this is the party in power. Chinese construction companies have been building in China for years. Yep. Now, I do have a starred chat here. All right, we're going to be looking into construction companies in, let me see here. All right, let's see what it spits out. I'm curious about this myself. Today is all about you, chat. This is a chat question that we're going to address. Okay, rapid expansion since 2020, driven by inflation and tax credits. Strong demand of EVs, energy storage, manufacturing clusters in the South and Midwest, 180 primary component facilities commissioned since 2019. New highs not seen since the 70s. Job growth in this sector. Progress uneven. Downstream cell pack assembly and some midstream components advance faster than upstream materials processing. Some projects face delayed cancellation and pivots toward LFP chemistry for storage. Amid softening EV demand in places where policy shift, but grid storage has been a bright spot. This is why I included in the question this. Large-scale power stations. Right spot, okay. Strong growth in cell pack manufacturing. By 2028, U.S. facilities are predicted to produce 1,164 gigawatts. I'm pretty sure that's a lot. LG Energy, South Korean firm, SK On and Samsung. Okay. Tesla, Panasonic, and others. Michigan, Georgia, and Tennessee plants are in on this, and Indiana, Kentucky. Okay, lithium iron phosphate seems to be a switch that they're doing. Foreign entity of concern capacity. Okay, suppliers play a major role in foreign entity of concern compliant. What does this mean? We're concerned about China, maybe. I don't know if that's exactly what it means, but I haven't. That's my guess. Let me see what this. Oh, this is about electric vehicles. Homes and residential. I want to buy a battery. Like this is like you hit me where I live at. Grid storage sees particular robust growth and is on track for self-sufficiency or surplus. That's good. If the grid has surplus, that's great. By the end of 2025, so that's already now. 70 gigawatt capacity for storage a year. Okay. Projected to reach, that's twice as much by the end of 2026. This is great, guys. Okay, so this is what we're talking about. Resource allocation, onshoring, friendshoring of materials. The battery supply has three main stages: upstream, minerals extraction and processing; midstream, cathode, anode materials, foils, separators, electrolytes; and downstream, cells, packs. U.S. strengths are in downstream, midstream assembly with persistent upstream gaps. Okay, so upstream this is where the gaps are: mineral extraction and processing. Onshoring challenge: U.S. has limited domestic reserves processing, like less than 1% of global lithium processing, a third of nickel. You know who has a lot of nickel? Anybody want to guess who has a lot of nickel? Does anybody know? Nobody knows? One of the largest reserves of nickel is in Cuba. Maybe Australia, I don't know, but Cuba. Maybe Greenland, but that's cold, hard place to get it. Cuba has a lot. Brazil is not our friend. Cuba's not our friend yet. Oh my God, Cuba has a lot. Very low cost cobalt, natural graphite. I think it's nickel. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was nickel. Like I wouldn't bet $40, but I'd bet 20 because I was looking into this. Full self-sufficiency by 2030 is unrealistic. Midstream. Okay, problems there. Lithium, nickel, cobalt, graphite. That seems to be, you see, Chile and Australia. So someone said Australia. Where are you? Who said Australia? Wait a minute. You were right. You were right. It was Australia. You were right about Cuba. I'm guessing you may be right about both of these, actually. Make Cuba great again. Okay. Friendshoring Australia, Canadian nickel. You see, Canada's going to have, and it's going to be too green to want to mine it. Policy tools, IRA and tax credit, and grants. Okay, this is going to help production. Bilateral agreements, that's agreements directly with other nations. How do you spell Caribbean? Oh, okay. Look at this. Look at this. Central South America, along Caribbean, especially Cuba, holds one of the most significant perspective, identifies resources for battery minerals like lithium, nickel, cobalt, copper, and graphite. Remember what I told you guys? You remember what I said? Oh, we're going to get Cuba. I told you, right? Those stupid commies, they don't know how to mine for anything. All they know how to do is steal. And then if anybody did know and they did start to do it, as soon as they started making some money, they'd go steal it. So what's the point of even trying? Well, the Gulf is farther left. The Caribbean is like right at the mouth. Remember I told you? These are mostly brine deposits, lithium, lateritic deposits, nickel, cobalt, porphyries, copper, and other formations, much remains unmined in early exploration stages. Like that, I was telling you, this is one of the reasons we're going to Cuba, guys. Don't get it twisted. We're gonna make them rich. We're gonna raise their standard of living so fucking much, they won't even believe it. Many South American resources are in salt flats, salars, or laterites, which is development challenges. Yeah, because yeah, no, I mean Puerto Rico 51st. Then Cuba and Greenland can get in line. The Lithium Triangle, Argentina, which is a friend, Bolivia and Chile might not be so friendly. I don't know if their governments changed, but they weren't friendly before. Those three hold 50% of the world's lithium. It's not even in Africa, guys. Primary brine deposit under the salt flats. Bolivia holds the largest, followed by Argentina. Guess what? That's our buddy Milei. Afuera! You remember that? Afuera! He went out with the chainsaw, telling all the government workers, afuera! You know what they were doing? Oh my God. I'm going to have to look for it here. But they were doing a scam where they would take a dog's x-ray, and everybody was using the same x-ray, to the doctor to get benefits from the government because they had a lung condition. And everybody that knew this trick was just getting government benefits and living off of that because they were taking that dog's x-rays in, and the government wouldn't do shit. Nickel and cobalt, key for high energy density batteries. Cuba stands out in the Caribbean for lateritic nickel cobalt deposit. Cuba's significant reserves of 5.5 million tons of nickel. This is what the golden, the Don Road Doctrine is about, right? Like, we're going with you. This is like Motorpool Monday. I'm going to stick to you guys, but we're still discussing American topics and American politics. And this is part of the preventive maintenance checks and service that America needs to do to keep America going strong into the future. We have to make alliances with these people, make sure that their streets are safe, that they can open up all their businesses, that they have a healthy and productive economy, that they have a healthy and productive working class, so that we can pay them well for this, because we need this. $500,000 tons of cobalt. Jesus Christ. 5.5 million tons of nickel. Among the world's largest for both. 5 to 7% of the global reserve for cobalt. Oh my God. Oh, we got to free Cuba. Cuba needs freedom. Brazil, who said Brazil? Someone here said Brazil. El Salvador is a lot safer. Yes, that's because of Bukele. That's absolutely right. Oh, he put him in a box. That's what Bukele did. Ever since Asmongold saw that, he's been loving it. I love, Bukele. Asmongold was like the hermit king. I used to watch a lot of his streams. I still do sometimes when I can. Like right now, I catch more the YouTube videos than I can the live stream. But great guy, and that's what he said. Do what Bukele did. Put him in a box. People causing trouble. Put him in a box. Giving these people too many hearings, too much bullshit. One of the things he had to do. There is Brazil. This person knew. Copper, essential for wiring. Chile and Peru. Didn't Peru just turn? I think Peru just turned in our direction, if I'm not mistaken, Chad. I didn't know that, but it makes sense. Hey, that's what we're here to do. We're going to grease the gears in your brain. So they start cranking out, positive vibes, knowing that there's good stuff going on. I think we're good with at least Peru. We're gonna look after this. We're gonna look into how many of these nations have moved to the right or have governments either in power or strong candidates to come who are friendly towards America. Brazil has the largest in graphite, Chile and Peru in copper. Mexico has potential graphite, but I don't know if we want to go there. Central America, let me see. Okay, it seems that South America focuses more on gold, silver, and copper in Panama. Some nickel in Guatemala. Guatemala is just below Mexico, if I remember right. Let's see here. South America, especially the lithium triangle, offers unmatched lithium scale, vast unmined brine resources. Cuba, strategic nickel and cobalt, with room for growth. Copper is already a powerhouse of pipeline projects. These represent major opportunities for onshoring and friendshoring support. Okay. So, we got good things coming. All right. Good things coming. This is very true. This is very, very true. these are the people that are already willing to work with us. Argentina with Milei. Chile, right-wing candidate strong, Jose Antonio Cast. All right, what's this? Okay. Yeah, he's looking pretty good. Bolivia shifted in the 2025 towards center-right. Rodrigo Paz, moving away from prior leftist resource nationalism toward a more market-friendly FDI policy for lithium, specifically for lithium. Peru, conservative or centrist leadership. Interim government cracking down on crime and legal mining. 2026 election likely to favor conservatives. Important for copper. Ecuador, Daniel Noboa. Business-oriented, security-focused, aligned with regional right trends. El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, strongman right. Costa Rica, center-right. Elements and some Caribbean shift. Cuba remains communist authoritarian. We know. Hey, that could change in a minute. Okay. Upcoming elections with strong conservative business-friendly candidates. Colombia. Wait a minute. One or is positioned strongly. Emphasize crime crackdown, slashing red tape, potential shifts from prior left. Brazil 2020. Okay, Lula is about to lose and Bolsonaro is about to come in. Like this dude had like over 40. And we know the leftover represents itself, so that's basically 50. And everybody else got to split it. Overall trends, Peru and Costa Rica. This is a lot of the countries. Politics do, shift quickly. That is true. That is something that happens. But, just to give you your mental health and wellness check, things are looking up as far as friendshoring and onshoring in this. I want to make Mondays about you. Like, we're only doing an hour today because I'm still getting in the hang. Like, Armin is teaching me how to set up the StreamYard back here. Oh. Hey, how you doing, buddy? I didn't see you there.
Yeah.
Bad. Have you been here for long?
Sorry, brother. I got hit with a migraine. It knocked me right on my ass, bro.
No. Don't worry about that. Have you been here for long? That's my question.
I just got in.
You just got in?
Laundry day.
No, hey, don't worry about it. We were going over a lot of the governments that have turned right and a lot of the onshoring and friendshoring. I'm doing like a PMCS wellness check on people, check on their mental, get those gears working, greased up so they're, ready to rev those mental engines, during the week and have a little positivity in their lives. I also showed them about the tofu drake. Do you know they had styrofoam in all the fucking walls in Venezuela? And that's why the buildings were falling? Tofu drag construction?
If you have Chinese Communist Party run companies engaged in foreign direct investment, it doesn't surprise me.
We have a special guest, last minute entry, but always welcome. This is, guys, you know what? This is my fault because I confirmed super late with Jeff. Like at 5 he asked, hey, today, and I didn't get back to him like at 7 something, super late. So it's kind of on me, and I know he's being apologetic, but him and I know I should have told him sooner. Like, just being real, I should have told you sooner. I've had one of those crazy days where, look, I'm not angry at all. I've just been, everybody's calling me for something else, so I get busy and I have to go do this and go do that, and so it took me forever to set up the stream. Oh, check this out. Let me show you something. Wait, let me see if I can. I did a little something here with the background. Oh, I got this up. Wait, let me see if I can remove it. You see that background I did for Motorpool Monday? That looks nice, right? Got the Motorpool. It looks very Motorpoolish, right?
Too many memories.
Too many memories? Yeah. We're getting some flashbacks here, folks.
Oh, Did you want to touch base on? You had mentioned you wanted to touch base on a couple of things, and I know that you and Armin were talking about, or you know, is you Armin and Ollie? We're talking about South Korea testing the M167 VADs like legacy anti-air artillery against drone swarms.
Yeah, that's one thing we were checking out. But I wanted to make Mondays like this is something that this was my idea. Like we could talk about whatever you want right now, right?
No, it's
But
up to you. It's your show, brother.
I wanted to run this by you. No, but I want your opinion. I'm gonna ask you a question, right? I wanted to make like a PMCS, preventive maintenance. He knows what PMCS is, right? I'm just explaining it to the chat, right? Like what we would do is every Monday, everybody had to go to the motor pool, check their Humvees, check all their vehicles, check all their stuff, and make sure it was dressed right, dressed squared away, right? So it had to have their oils changed, everything right. So I wanted to do that with the chat, especially with because you guys, a lot of you guys and us, like us, the people that are up here, have a little bit of, we're kind of like warriors in the cyberspace, in the information warfare, right? So anyone that knows about that knows what kind of things you got to be checking in your mental to keep yourself well, what kind of things you got to check in your equipment. I was telling them, you motherfuckers got your computers full of cat hair and dust. You got to clean them out. You got to clean out those vents in your computers, get the Cheeto dust out of your keyboards. But, you know, just that kind of stuff, you know, this is not for today. This is something like maybe in the future, if you want to drop by on a Monday and you got information about, like, you know, what to watch, what to keep an eye out for, things that you notice as an information warrior. What, hey, you know, this person might be able to use this because they focus on that. Like I might see something that I can't cover it, but I say like, hey, you are good at covering Durka stuff, Ali and Armin. You guys check this out. Jose's good on Cuba, or I can do like Latino stuff. I'll throw it over to Monkey. You know, good stuff like that.
Brief, kind of like doing just a basic sit rep of certain things, pre-bunking, debunking, like just
yeah. Oh, that's perfect. That sounds great. That's even better than what I had in mind. That's perfect. Yeah, like I wanted to outline something like that. Yeah. This is like your wheelhouse, but I wanted to like dedicate Mondays to something like that. Get an idea of like what I could do as far as that. So that's kind of what I had in mind, and I was okay. Let me see. Go back here a little bit. And I was going to show you this. It'll probably piss you off a little bit. But check this out.
Pressure's giving me a migraine, so please be kind to Uncle Jeff.
Look at this.
Anime, weón, es anime. Las columnas, esta mierda, gobierno maldito, es anime.
That shit doesn't.
No se van a caer, mío. No se va a caer.
It reminds me of when I was in, you know, so I studied martial arts for a while, and my instructor, teacher, his name was Master Ting Fong Wang of the Golden Dragon Kung Fu Society. Master Wang was previously a South Chinese national who used to train Chiang Kai-shek's forces to kill Japanese and then communist Chinese. So in the early to mid 80s, because of the kind of opening of China under Nixon, which is one policy he kind of recanted on his deathbed, vis-a-vis taking advantage of the Sino-Soviet split, the Chinese Communist Party and China itself invited Americans over to kind of show how Americans study traditional Chinese martial arts.
Okay.
So I don't want to say circle back because Saki's so fucking adulterated that shit. I'm gonna bring it back to this, right?
Right? I know who you're talking about. That's the lady, Biden's lady. I'm gonna circle back to that. She circled. She would never land. That bitch never landed. She'd always circle.
So you know, we're in China. You know, we go to Hong Kong. That was when it was still part of the British Empire. We're finally going to China, and I'm seeing these bricks. I pick one up and I crumble it. It just crumbled into dust. It was all mud. I'm like, well, no wonder you're running through like walls and Saturday morning kung fu theater. All this shit's man like recycled Chinese newspaper and shit. It was unreal, dude.
Man,
so it doesn't surprise me about the tofu dredge projects. Right?
How wasn't a Chinese delegation in Venezuela when they got Maduro? Like they were literally in there.
Yeah,
they had a big dinner and then he got snatched.
One of the guys who did the threat risk vulnerability assessment as to why we had to hit Venezuela. That's true, man. How there was operational ties between the previous violent Marxist Maduro regime that occupied Venezuela, how it had operational ties with Hezbollah, the Mullah regime, elements out of like the Chinese Communist Party, some elements out of Putin's criminalized counterintelligence. It was a fucking like one
Ghost fleet. There was some ghost fleet ties.
All of it. Narco terrorism, drug fare, fucking the list goes on and on, right? Like they had,
man.
Same with Cuba, man. Like the Castro regime in Cuba's got to go down.
Did you know about the nickel in Cuba? They got much nickel.
There's only so much I can do with it one day, buddy.
Oh, bro. Look, let me give you some good news then. All right. Check this out. Wait a minute. I think I got it around here.
Averaging a little grokky, no worries, man. Let's take a look.
They talk here about, oh my God. See if I can find it. Friendshoring overall. Cuba, look at this. 5.5 million tons of nickel. World's largest for both nickel and cobalt. The amount of cobalt and nickel in Cuba is ridiculous.
Yeah, man.
Ridiculous. Do you know what would happen if the Chinese and the commies got this? The life of Cubans would not improve one fucking bit. You know what happens if America gets it? They're
horrible.
Their standard.
It's not a bus. I'm saying the Chi-Coms get a hold of that.
Oh yeah.
God. Anybody who looks at like the predatory trade practices and lending practices of the Chinese Communist Party, particularly with things like the One Belt Road Initiative, all this bullshit. Every one of those countries that sign on to that get fucked. I mean,
and they're not paying.
Absolutely fucked, bro.
They're like, no, I'm going to lend you money. Okay, so where's my money? No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send some people to build some stuff for you. The trains they built in India, I think it was, and all these places suck. The dams, they were doing a lot of toxic mining, and they had a dam. I think it was in Ethiopia. That dam broke. All that, like a bunch of farmland is just toxic now. Let me see what else. All over Africa.
Bro, you can't trust the Chi-Coms, man. They're fucked up.
It's ridiculous.
They're ruthless, heartless, godless motherfuckers, man. They don't care. They don't care at all. Dude, these are people who are genociding Uyghurs. They're doing things like harvesting Falun Gong's friggin' organs. These aren't nice people, man. And I'm not talking about Chinese people. I'm just saying the Chinese Communist Party that's occupied, like illegally occupied mainland China since 1949. And those guys are fucked up. There's no doubt about it, bro.
Well, that's the type of construction that they were doing there. Apparently, they've been there like fucking, 20 years, basically. All the weapons, remember, all the weapons that failed were from China. So how much did that cost the people? So much money.
It's true. The other thing, though, is the Chi-Coms will put in shitty weapons and then measurement-based intelligence assessment. Even though our weapons are kicking the shit out of them, they get to do their mass and see how our stuff works. So, I mean, there's a reason for that, right? I mean,
did you notice a pattern on what they said about the failures? They said, oh, no, it's not my machine, it's your operator. Every time. Oh, just what a coincidence. Every time it's your operator, not my machine. I heard that in China, like there was so much corruption that even the stuff that's supposed to be good, they had like some company commanders and some of the mechanics like showing the good battalion and then giving the commander like a runaround tour while they took the parts from the good ones and put them on other
that's
equipment.
Funny, more fucked up version of that end scene from what was it, Gung Ho with Michael Keaton. We're like, we could keep making the cars as he's inspecting them. It was shit like that.
And basically, they're expecting the same thing over and over. Yeah. Oh man, it was ridiculous. Like that's why so many people getting purged. Like they know it's gonna. She knows that these people are all corrupt, but he's like in the back of the mind. Okay, so they gotta have enough self-interest to know that if I figure out that this thing doesn't work, I'm gonna kill them. But they didn't, and a lot of them are they deserve to be purged. Like, oh my God, she is doing it for power. Yeah, but these people deserve that purge. Like, even if your job is to protect the national interest, even though these are Chi-Coms and you shouldn't protect them.
Do you want them? Do you want them to get their shit together? I don't.
It's the system. The system is going to lead to that. I don't want them to get their shit together, but like these people that do want them to get their shit together don't understand that the system is not going to allow for that. It doesn't allow for that.
I mean, like the Chinese Communist Party is renowned for being corrupt and shitty and fucked up and predatory and everything else. So it definitely manifests itself. Yeah, right. So you said, Sarah's not wrong. That's the least of your worries. You might come up with herpes or some shit. I mean, who knows what you'll get. Right?
Bro, I watch this. I watch China Uncensored. I watch the China Show. I watch a couple of shows. So they tell me sometimes. There's a David Zhang guy. They talk to me about how toxic the food is. About China Observer is another one. They kind of like do straight up reports, and they talk about how the problems they're having with the toxicity of their food. Like, if you think the stuff they're sending us is shit, like if even the shit that they give themselves is terrible, imagine the garbage they're sending us. You got to be very careful with the stuff you buy from over there. A whole bunch of their utensils for eating had toxic metals in it. They started testing it. Like, what the fuck? They started buying gold bars from the bank, and they were fake from the bank.
Here, I'll show you if you want. Let's see. Where is it? This is me at CPAC 2015. Jeez, this is 11 fucking years ago. God damn it, I feel old as fuck.
Time flies when you're having fun.
If you go there, and let me get you the URL. If you go to like, I think it's like 50, let's see, maybe like 49 minutes into the video-ish, 50, you'll see yours truly asking a very particular question to.
What did you put it in the chat? I think I can approve it if you put it in the chat.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. You'll see me asking about the threat posed by the Chinese Communist Party vis-a-vis Confucius Institutes and leveraging our universities and the rest of it.
Oh my God, that is so horrible. What's going on with that is no joke.
It's fucked up.
Bro, $7 billion they're spending on that shit.
Oh, that's only what they say in the open, man.
Yeah, it's probably more.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, like I was saying, like those same resources, with America helping them mine it, that's going to raise their standard of living so much, because you need people to work these jobs, and you need them. Like if you're like a free market guy, okay, I need these guys to have a good life so they can keep coming back to work. I'm not just going to squeeze them till the last drop until they die, right? So you need these people to be able to, and you need to have like at least some decent, like I know they're corporations that don't really care about people, but they know that for PR reasons, they can't be treating the employees bad. They don't want no scandal about their underpaying and shit because they work with our system, right? So it's good stuff that we can maybe help these people. They can provide us and our friends with good resources, and we can provide them with a better deal than any communist will ever give them.
Oh, 100%. 100%. So I mean,
I can't wait for them to take over Cuba, man. Because
we're not taking over Cuba. We're liberating Cuba from the commie Castro regime that's illegally occupied Cuba since the middle part of the last century. Right? Invasion and occupation is a very particular term with a very particular definition, geostrategic parlance, which is forced territorial cessation, meaning I'm forcefully taking ownership of territory that I do not have right to. We're not looking to conquer Cuba. We're trying to
maybe for 3 days. We'll take over for 3 days and then give it back.
Well, okay, so we definitely are going to be stewards in the transition because it's fucking a shithole thanks to communist mismanagement and brutality. My God, think about what happened right before Castro. I mean, don't get me wrong, Batista was definitely I'm not saying Batista was like a peach. He wasn't. that said
No.
Cubans live far better under Batista than they ever did under Castro. All you got to do is just look at what happened to the sugar exports. So, like Castro takes over Cuba. He gives, the control of the sugar industry in Cuba to fucking Che Guevara, who doesn't know when he's a shitbag to begin with. Yeah, no shit, Sarah. So, like, he has no idea how to fucking run a sugar plantation or sugar or anything regarding agriculture. So the Soviets give him these like snow plows, and dipshit set the fucking like the thresher blade too low. He cut it real close to the ground. Sugar cane died. You had one harvest, and people started starving to death. The next year, they were fucked. I mean, that's what's been going on in Cuba, right? I mean, like, it drives me crazy when you have limousine socialist douche canoes, disproportionately privileged upper middle class white bitches in academia. I mean, I'm just speaking how I see it, right? They're like, oh my God.
Oh, and in Hollywood.
Yeah, like nobody who's lived under that shit ever liked it. Nobody. You don't see like hot mamacitas in fucking Miami with their like amazing bikini and all that, like going, fuck all this awesomeness, get on a used truck inner tube to float their ass 90 miles of shark infested water to get the fuck into Cuba. Nobody's doing that shit.
No.
Nobody was digging tunnels during the latter part of the Soviet era of the Cold War to get the fuck into East Berlin. Nobody did that. There's an amazing video in the beginning part of the Soviet era of the Cold War, immediately following the conclusion of the Second World War. And they had this poor bastard. He's like in that bullshit, weird kind of like sleeping bag fucking winter outfit thing. And he's got his shitty ass Papa Shaw. It's an amazing video. He's like, fuck this. Whoop. Through the friggin' Papa Shaw, he like literally sprinted and just Superman dove.
I think I've seen that
I know
picture.
it's famous, bro.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Guards on the guards on the guards, and even when they had 3 layers of guards, are like, oh shit, Bushy boy, this is horrible, very, very bad image for the Soviet Union. And then they built walls with machine guns and landmines. If you got to do that shit to keep people in, you don't even need to do comparative like economics or economet. You don't need to do any of that shit. If you got to build like walls, guard dogs, landmines, and barbed wire to keep fuckers in, I already know that place is fucked up.
Yeah.
I already know that place is fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
Right? You never see people going into East Germany. You never see people like, other than like 1 or 2 lunatics who absolutely regretted it, went into North Korea. Like there's nobody's doing that except for like 1 or 2 legit people who are fucked in the head. And they regret every second of it, bro.
Well, there's 3 places people want to escape: jail, mental institution, and communism. And you know what? It's almost like saying the same thing 3 times. It's almost like I'm saying the same thing 3 times.
Those could apply. There's a lot of overlap between them 3.
Venn diagram. Venn diagram is almost a circle.
What's it say in the definition? See the other shit.
But yeah, man, it makes me a little hopeful. I'm only gonna go about to like 15 more minutes, but you know, I want to give you like open mic here to talk about whatever you want. Chat is also going to be chiming in. Like that thing about how they were saying we shouldn't have been getting our medicine from China, and that's part of like the onshoring that the Don did about with the tariffs, and they start doing stuff here. It helped a lot, especially with this war that happened now. But guess who makes a lot of medical like pharmacy level drugs?
Critical megs from China.
No, but like the good guys, like U.S. territory that makes them. I don't know if you're aware of this. Puerto Rico. We have Pfizer here. We have a lot of the like for a lot of the drugs. Let me see over here. It's a good number.
Oh, look, bro, it's definitely we have to de-link from China. The only issue is we spent 40 years and there's like $37 trillion of foreign direct investment in physical capita in China. So, like, right after the Chinese Communist Party pandemic, Wuhan COVID-19, we're like, yep, got to de-link from China. That's going to hurt a little. You're not going to be able to do that just full private like free market ain't going to do that. You're going to have to do public-private partnerships, and you have to find ways to minimize the damage, particularly when you're in such an environment of time compression, given all the other things that are going on, right? Taiwan, fucking all kinds of shit. So, I mean, we definitely need to de-link, and it needs to, like, we should be doing something akin to what we did just prior to the Second World War. We need to be mobilized at that level to get where we got to be. Right? You can't trust, and again, it has nothing to do with Chinese people. I don't have a problem with Chinese people. They're unbelievably wonderful, industrious people. They're not the fucking ones running the show over there. I mean, I know if you're watching China Uncensored all the time, and all the other guys like, what is it, Lao Wow or Lao something? Yeah, those guys
the
are
China show. There's this lady, like Way Talks, I think her name is. She seems like a nice lady, and she's kind of like she gets into the nuances because it's kind of like almost like a soap opera because they don't really say anything. So you got to kind of like read the tea leaves with those guys. I watch China Observer. It just seems like news reports. It just seems like straight up news reports. And I kind of like, I look into that kind of stuff. They get a lot into like their military failures and the bullshit that they trying to sell as military successes, and it's all like, wow, these things suck. But
so never underestimate your enemy. Like,
of course,
true, their shit isn't. I mean, they're hot on our ass, bro, and they're stealing everything they get their grubby little hands on. Like, the Chinese Communist Party is very, very adept at gray zone conflict, right? Which is like just under conventional warfare, right? And the reason they do that is because at the moment we have an advantage in conventional, like traditional conventional and strategic capability. They are very much offsetting that with different kinds of asymmetric counters, advanced bioweaponry. Think of TikTok, right? In neurocognitive warfare. It isn't just that like TikTok steals all your shit and it hijacks your device and uses it as a distributed bot network and all this other crap, right? There's all that. That's enough.
Yeah.
Shitty. It isn't just that it tells you, oh, you should do Tide Pod challenge and snort condoms and all this other crap, right? Exacerbate the corrupting influence of affluence and make people do stupid shit.
Because the algorithm is nice for them. For us, it's garbage.
Right. And like in China, it's like, this is how you will do advanced physics to kill the white demon. Right? I mean, absolutely, that's how it is. So it's also designed to fuck your head up, right? Neurocognitive warfare, to sit there and change, like get you hooked on serotonin boosts, like bumps. So you have dude, there's a reason Senator Rubio pushed to fucking ban TikTok, bro.
I don't know why it isn't banned yet.
Because there's like friggin' all the kids here are addicted to it. And like, so you have like 30, how many tens of millions of essentially TikTok version of crack addicts. It's like asking a crack addict, well, it's bad, you better stop. They're like, I don't care, I'm a tweaker. And
Yeah.
That's the issue.
I think it also, like when Trump started gaining traction, it's like, well, let's get past the election and the midterms, and we'll talk about getting rid of it. That deal, like if you can get the tech delinked from China, and you can get it in our favor and get it teach us, okay, so this is how you let me see how you can live off grid and make sure you're what I'm saying, like how to, like, good stuff. If we could use it for good stuff, hey, that could be great. But look who's here. Texas True. Wait a second, Texas. I got something for you. Let me see here. Oh my God. Where is my channel? No, I can't find my own channel. Bro, I just, you remember Dodgeball? And she didn't dodge that wrench.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Maybe on the next channel we'll dodge the wrench. I mean, if you don't want it, I don't want to force you. Like if you say no, I don't want to do it, that's fine. But you know, I've seen you do good work, so.
Here's someone links some of the open intelligence reports regarding TikTok being a part of the Chinese Communist Party's broader neurocognitive warfare as a subset of gray zone conflict, or what they call unrestricted warfare. It was a term coined by two PAL intel officers, colonels back in the late 90s. They actually wrote a book about it. The Russian or Putin's criminalized counterintelligence version of that is actually hybrid warfare. So basically, it's warfare that's just under, again, traditional, conventional, and strategic warfare. The idea is to like kill your enemy with like a death by 1,000 cuts where they never respond.
Like habitual line steppers. That's what they are. They like to step on the line but not go over it.
Not to be confused with the awesome YouTube channel fellow vet who was actually a former air defender and shot Patriot missiles in anger. That guy's cool as fuck.
He calls himself habitual line stepper? That's a cool name, kind of, yeah.
Dude, he's a cool dude, man. He like hangs out with Matt Best and all those guys. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, that's like when you're talking about neurocog warfare and the role that TikTok played in said neurocog warfare. There's one here. If you want, I can actually show you the VADS stuff. So as you know, Armin was talking about, like they were showing, what is it?
Well, if you want, you could like present at the bottom, and I can add it if you want, and that way I'll just share the screen that you're looking at.
Can you give me permission to share my screen?
I don't know how to do that. Let me see. Edit mic settings. No, edit. I gotta find out how to do that. Drag in the cart. No. Okay. How do I? Is it right click? No, that doesn't work. I gotta figure out how to do that. Here we go.
Did it work?
I think I'm seeing it.
Yeah, so we were looking for, trying to find ways to upgun. You can see the date, right? There's the date. We looked for a lot of different ways to upgun our allies, particularly Ukraine, against Putin's criminalized counterintelligence states' use of Shahed drones because, you know, cost exchange ratio. So this thing right here, the N167 VADS, is the thing they were looking at for South Korea, and they were showing tests on, you know, South Korea's tests and shooting down swarms of drones. And so like, oh, it killed like 30%. The only reason these were actually looked at in the beginning of like 2024. You know,
and a thing like that I don't know if there's a flak round in that caliber. We could make one.
I mean, so they definitely have explosive warheads for 20 millimeter, right? To be sure. So the point was cost exchange ratio, right? There's plenty of ammunition. Here, let me sit there and give you the other one real quick.
So you've been like warning about this for 2 years or more, probably more.
No, I wrote the policy on it. Yeah, absolutely. Hold on a second. And yeah. So no, that's not the one. Where's the one? Here, all this stuff. Right. Let's do all of this. And copy all of that. And we'll put that in here.
No, we've been focusing on the Chi-Coms, but they got their talent too.
Oh, without a doubt, bro. Here we go. All right, let's do this. Start it. Oh my
So I
God.
want you guys to understand the reason that Jeffrey says Chi-Coms is because he knows that Chinese people are probably great people. It's the Chi-Com, the communists that are bad. He says Putin's criminal counterintelligence network is so he can say, hey, Russians, probably great people, most of them, right? I'm sure there's a few assholes. We got them too. But what I'm focusing on, who I'm calling a douche canoe, is not those people. It's literally Putin's criminalized counterintelligence network that's dominating.
Yeah, I mean, because after the fall of the Soviet Union, you had this weird, unholy alliance between, well, former KGB or KGB agents and Soviet intelligence that didn't have any other place to go and no job, and like
a bratva,
competitive Baltic businessmen, right? Which is a longhand for saying bratva or the Russian mob. So you have, this is some of the things we looked at. AH-1W Super Cobras as pop-up defense against Shahed 136s. Again,
did you see them come back? The Cobras?
Yeah. I mean, so the idea of that is, here's the IHawks that played a role in modernizing under Biden's administration because, he was the president. Modernizing them because you have a better you have a better cost exchange ratio and production exchange ratio, right? We have like tens of thousands of these missiles, although you got to upgrade them. This is all stuff in the open. You had VADS plus Sky Sentinel. So Ukrainian defense forces came up with their own version of kind of like, do you ever watch Aliens, the extended cut with the automated sentry guns? That's kind of
that's the one you got to watch. That's the good one.
That's the good one. Defensive drone swarms, again, that was very much Ukrainian defense. Directed energy.
Okay, that's my love language. Hey, chat, directed energy. That hits me where I live.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the stuff.
What's the cost there? Because I know, like, even with a big round, like even one bullet could cost like $10. But what's the cost on energy weapons?
So the positives and negatives with directed energy is this regarding cost and production exchange ratio. You pay a higher cost up front to be sure. You immortalize that cost as the engagement goes on because it has very low cost per kill. It's like a couple of dollars in electricity. That's true. You have to pay for the system. Then afterwards, every shot you do is less and less and less and less. So, you figure like,
it's like the opposite of diminishing return. It's like a long-term investment.
Sort of. Yeah. I mean, it has its pluses and minuses to be sure. Like, again, the idea was laser Vipers. So you have AH-1Ws, Vipers, and or Zulus, which is like a version of a Viper. And then instead of having like, all the stuff on the wings, whatever hard points, so hypervelocity rockets or anti-tank rockets like Hellfires and all this other shit, you would just put like a 10 kilowatt Trezub or Ukraine's, 10, 20 kilowatt laser, and you would run it off the rotor. So you would have essentially a bottomless magazine so long as you have fuel. And so
that's fantastic.
Well, yeah, they're working on it, right? I mean, there's minuses too. I mean, so you figure
you probably stick that on a Super Tucano. You remember those? That'd be funny. I know you're laughing, but I mean, people who like the P-51 are like, what? That looks kind of sexy.
Well, I mean, there's a reason they're looking at things like, older, venerable, and legacy class airframes to take down Shaheds, right? Because a Shahed is like a modernized version of a V1. So, yeah. A lot of the things we did with the VADs and stuff, here's the rub. Initially, there was a lot that was there. We had a shitload of ammunition. A lot of our allies, including things like, you saw what I said, like Chile and Argentina, they have shitloads of those. And we can backfill them with like Avengers that we don't use, which, the cost per kill is higher. That said, it's a more capable system. Well, there's competitive adaptation, right? Your enemy learns just like you do. So, instead of flying high, then, Putin's criminalized counterintelligence, they modernized it or, modified it to sit there and fly very low. And then when it comes close to the target, boost up to very high altitudes. You fly over the range of your anti-air artillery and then come straight down on the target. There's all kinds of other stuff like putting disposable rockets on it to minimize the vulnerability of it climbing to altitude and all this other shit. That's in another report. I mean, one of these days, if you want, I can go through that. That's no.
Let me ask you about something. Do you remember at the start of this, back in February, I think, back in February, they were talking about how they had a portable, I think they moved it in the Galaxy, a reactor, like a nuclear reactor, like a military nuclear reactor. Like I don't know what they were going to use it
Small modular
for.
reactors for things to bring power.
Modular.
So, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's very
So
much.
if you got
modernized
something like
version
that on a
of-
ship, or like if you're using that for defense, you got one of like
one of the guys
what's
push for it. Yeah, absolutely. It gives you a lot of power density wherever you go. For instance, one of the things that kind of showed why you'd want that would be U.S. responses to what went on in Haiti, right? So we had a lot of stuff like that was such a fucking shit show. Like,
Jesus.
oh my God, Obama fucked that all up. Right, so you have this horrible thing that goes on in Haiti, and all this stuff rotting on the dock. Even the food, there was no fucking rhyme or reason. Just people were donating crap they didn't want to throw out. It was fucking horrible. So like the food that got there, a lot of it rotted on the dock because they had no power, and even if they did, the roads are all fucked up. And how do you sit there and clear the roads? And we have no like electricity or for refrigeration, all this shit. And so, it'd be really cool if we didn't fucking cut funding from the SSTAR, which was Small, Safe, Transportable, Autonomous Reactor. It was a joint research program between the United States and India under former President George W. Bush. And it was very close to working, right? I mean, they were moving along. It's like the size of a door, gives you 10 megawatts for 30 years, passively safe, operates at ambient pressure, can't melt down, all this cool shit. Well, Obama came in and was like, well, yeah, we're not going to do any investment in that because I'm all about fucking windmills and bullshit solar. You had his energy tech czar, energy czar, wasn't a very big fan of that. Like, he very much was not pro-nuclear. And so they got killed. Then what ends up happening is you're like, shit, we had a fucking horrible natural disaster in Haiti, and we have no real way to get a lot of power to stuff we need to do. It would have been nice if we had that. Secretary or Pete Hegseth is not a fucking idiot. Yeah, there's a reason we're pushing for that shit, bro. Yeah.
Like I saw that, I'm like, oh my God, we could do so much with this. Like if directed energy is my love language, a modular nuclear is just beating hard. You know what I'm talking about? You combine those two.
You don't have to have any diesel generators. It's a lot quieter. You get more energy density. Direct energy at this stage is the size, weight, and power, read efficiency of translating, electrical energy into photonic energy and then delivering that energy to target. I mean, it's definitely going up a lot. It's there. It could be better, right? I mean, a big issue is heat, right? That's one of the bigger issues, particularly when it comes to things like continuous wave lasers, not so much ultra short pulse, which is why I'm very pro ultra short pulse.
Yeah. I get that.
Like, what is you have a tighter, OODA loop, decision cycle, kill chain, all this other shit. You can have on-site artificial intelligence acting in the targeting OODA loop and kill chain version of the decision support role via neuromorphic edge computing, all this other stuff. I mean, it's sexy shit. That's where we need to go. Right?
So
I'm not
good.
the only guy. I'm one of them. I'm one of the guys who's pushed. They just go look through my shit. I mean, I posted it publicly, the stuff I can post publicly. Yeah, man.
Okay.
It's not dumb, dude. Pete knows what he's doing. I mean, he stumbled out of the gate, to be sure. There's a little bit of the, Fox News host. Not that those guys are bad. I'm just saying, like, it's a different wheelhouse than being SecDef. In this case, Secretary of War. So
I think it helps a little. I think that experience is something that you need to know as Secretary of War, like knowing how the audience thinks, knowing how the network thinks, getting ahead of what they might try to do to you, using CENTCOM. Like, he's got a little bit of savvy when it comes to that stuff.
Oh, yeah, he's got swagger. I mean, it definitely helps when you're trying to reverse all the caustic damage that was done by DEI, ESG horseshit that was rammed through the DOD's throat by a bunch of radical left-wing limousine socialist assholes that essentially ran Biden's administration. Like, don't get me wrong, not everybody in Biden's administration, I know I'm going to catch hell for this. There was a couple in Biden's administration that was manageably less fucked up. Like, Secretary of Defense General Lloyd Austin was a good guy. Rear Admiral Kirby, good guy. I mean, within that administration, right? Blinken was like 50-50. juxtaposed to those three manageably less fucked up people, you had all these Obama retread douche canoes, many of which were directly involved in
Did Obama do a big purge? Like I heard somewhere that Obama like really politicized
Anybody
it.
who didn't sit there and toe the line? Absolutely. He made like Clinton's fucking purges look like a day at Disneyland.
Because I heard people like
shit, or like in the DEI ESG fucks in Biden, like, other than the very beginning, he wasn't shit, bro. He fucking has like dementia and like was playing with the pretty blue water in the urinal and shit. I mean, like, I'm not saying I like that guy. Like, yelling at him after a year in would be like yelling at a fucking totaled car that hit your grandmother, by like a drunk driver hit your grandmother in his car, and you're yelling at the fucking totaled car, right? It's not the car that did it, it's the guy who was driving it. The guy who was driving Biden after the first year, that guy was out to lunch. I don't know what the fuck happened to that guy.
I don't think it's just one guy.
Oh, absolutely.
I think there were a couple of people that had access to that auto pen.
or any other number. I mean, it was definitely, presidency by committee. There's no doubt about it.
Some said like sometimes Obama was in there. like trying to
he had his buddies in there. I don't know about Obama. He had his like people.
Yeah, by proxy. I mean, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, Texas has some news for us. Speaking of Chi-Coms, DOJ opened grand jury investigation into Singham. What does that mean? Does that mean a lot of what I like to call, oh my God, discovery? When you start looking into their text, start looking into all their stuff?
God, I fucking hope so.
That's like a dream come true, man. It's like a dream come true. In fact, I want to share an image. Let me see if I can do this. Let me see. I got it here. See if I can add it. All right. You see that? You see Israel down here? Just APAC, 0.7 in FARA, and APAC, US donations only, less than $1 billion. You guys got to step it up. The problem is they're being stingy. You got to like let go of the coin, because look at these people. So, I think this is too big a jump. I think it's like we could put it at 5. I like to say 7 just because I'm like ringing the alarm. But it could be more. It could actually be more than 7. Who knows? But let's put it at 7, right? This is just, I don't know what this is, CUSEF. Do you know what that is? It's some kind of China NGO, Confucius Institutes. It's a lot of money. Qatar. And this is the FARA lobbying. People talk about the Israel lobby in APAC. APAC is 97 million. Why isn't anybody complaining about the 475 million from the China lobby? It's 95 million right here for Israel, but this is like registered. This is not a made up number. They're not guessing like over here where it's NGOs and Confucius. They know this number for real. They know that there's 457 million from China. They know that it's in the FARA lobbying. Why isn't there a China lobby, whatever they call that tracker, instead of an IPAC tracker? Qatar, 556 million. You guys got to step it up. Look at this, 0.7 million. 0.7 million, 700K. What are you doing, Israel? Look at this. Look at this. And it's not like you can't afford it. What's going on here? Are you afraid of the image? They're gonna talk shit anyway. Look at this. Saudi Arabia, 310 million. And over there on universities, you know how the universities going crazy? Confucius Institute is a university thing. That's what Neville Roy Singham has his Code Pink Warriors, right? So this is also Qatar, who's spending around 5 billion. Let's say 6 billion, just to put it somewhere in there. Universities and think tanks. That's a lot of money. And 256 in the lobbying. Saudi Arabia, 310 million in lobbying. This is like registered lobbying. registered lobbying. And no one, IPAC is controlling. IPAC ain't controlling shit. At 0.7 plus 95 total, 95.7. They ain't controlling shit. Look at this. Even South Korea is like beating them down. Look at this. Japan is beating them down.
Look, I know some of the guys on J Street, man. I'd rather have them than Chi-Coms any fucking day.
No. Okay, you're talking to a weeb, right? Like, I want Gundams. I want a Gundam. I want to see that big Gundam robot in Japan. I want to go over there and see that thing.
So if you look at some of the things I posted in your chat, you have Game of Pawns from FBI, and it's actually based on an actual case of how the Chinese Communist Party uses grad students as a.
You mean like in the inside chat? Oh, private chat. Okay. Oh, I see. Oh, you posted good stuff in here. I haven't been seeing it.
So you have higher education, national security targeted was an FBI 2011. I know that's, forgive me telling my age. Still, that they outlined that the Chinese Communist Party is the #1.
Jeff, I'm older than you.
I don't know. Are you?
Yeah.
3. So
we could be contemporary, but I'm a little bit. Not a lot.
So yeah, I mean, then you remember this. Like, foreign economic espionage in cyberspace. There's a couple other ones I could send you. These are all legit, all like primary information sources, raw data.
Nice.
It's real, man. So I mean, the Chi-Coms are like the #1. Putin's criminalized counterintelligence state right underneath that shit. Absolutely.
That's what I find weird about this, because I don't even see Russia on here, but I know they're doing shit. I just don't see it here.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I'll send you the reports, the more recent ones, and they'll show you just who's #1, 2, 3, all that. Give me a day or two. It's been a long couple of days, bro.
Bro, I had such a busy day. Like, it wasn't an angry day. It wasn't a painful day. Like, I don't have sometimes I got a little bit of the back pain or a little bit of the migraines. You know about the migraines. I get a little of the, sometimes the tinnitus gets to me. But today it wasn't like that. I was just busy, and this thing popped up, and this thing popped up, and this person with a call I got to take, and I feel like I'm juggling the whole day. But you know what? It's coming to a good conclusion. I'm liking the end. Talking to my friend Jeff over here, we're going over some good news. Singing's gonna get his shit pushed in, like in that. What was that movie? Oh my God, Training Day. You like to get your shit pushed in, I said. Hey man, it's real good, man. Hey. Y'all gotta do it in jail, man. You like to get your shit pushed in? That guy was like, "Oh no, it's a bad day." That was like the best good deed of his life. He did that day because he saved like that. I think it was his cousin from getting raped by some guy, and then the SS kind of let him go. But man, this is I'm glad that these people are. I was going to show you this. The Puerto Rico, we do like 30 billion. Historical estimates around 8 to 20 for certain categories of expenditures. There was some changes after COVID, but currently we're doing exports of 53 to 54 billion annually to 120 countries. U.S. still leads pharma. It still leads in the U.S. It still leads U.S. states in pharma production. So we're leading in the U.S. states in pharma production in 2025, ranked second in the U.S. pharma manufacturing. Export value, 13.1% of total U.S. dollar value in this category. The sector contributes 30% of Puerto Rico's GDP. So this is very important to our GDP. And 74... Bro, that's a lot of to be the total of the island's exports. 70, like we're selling a lot of drugs.
Why not? I mean, think about it, especially when you take into account the role that advanced bioweaponry plays in the Chinese Communist Party's overall grand strategy against the United States, and specifically gray zone conflict, of which the Chinese Communist Party pandemic, Wuhan COVID-19 was exemplary of, right? Like, we can't afford to be dependent upon China for anything, much less critical things like pharmaceuticals. No.
Can't do it. We can't do it.
That's got to change, or we're fucked.
It remains vital for the U.S. supply. So, we're not doing the yayo, but we got the good drugs. We got the FDA approved. Like, how many plants is it?
I might have to put a little yayo in my coffee just to get moving. Right?
Did you know?
Are you using yayo for it's for medicinal purposes? I promise you.
Did you know
the body is old, bruised, and beaten?
If you get a really, really high dose of coffee, it's as stimulating as the yayo without like some of the bad side effects. Like, I don't know, you probably never tried it, right?
I'm being half facetious there, right? I'm not like trying to pull a Tony Montana.
No, but the people should know, like, coffee. It's a drug. It's a good drug, but it's a drug. Like, it'll really, like, there's studies that say that it'll help you focus. Like, it helps you like to those tedious tasks, like a little bit of morning coffee. Like, I'm really, really addicted into coffee. I hate like downers. Like, I was always afraid because of my, like, I've kind of said it before. I don't know if I've said it live or anything, but I'm not afraid to say it. Like, I never knew my dad because he died of a heroin overdose. Right. My grandpa found him with like a needle in there. So I was kind of always like, his greatest lesson to me was never get addicted. Right. Like, I never knew the guy, but he taught me that. So I was very scared of like downers, very scared of like a drinking too many days in a row. Like, I knew that alcoholics, like, there's a number of days where if you drink every day, and then you don't drink, you need it. Like, you'll get sick, you start getting shakes and shit. I don't know if it takes months, but I never wanted to risk it. So I was always more on like, I've tried a little bit of everything, but I was always more on the coffee side. Like, oh my God, it's such a good drug. If you're going to do drugs, get some Puerto Rican coffee, because that's another drug we produce. So you get a little bit of that, Bustelo. Get you some Bustelo. We don't just make the pharma stuff.
Scarface. I love Tony Montana because he hated communists. That's why I loved him. I watched him for the one scene where he stabs Ravenga in Freedom.
Look,
That's my favorite scene, bro.
I won't confirm or deny that I've ever tried anything, but you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to judge anybody. I'm not going to judge anybody.
He's like, who's this guy? He used to be fucking one of Castro's guys. He tortured a couple of guys.
But it is a good movie.
They stabbed that. He's like, hey, Ravenga, stick. See you later, dude.
It was, and I think that wasn't even the first version. I think there's another version of that movie, like from the 50s.
I'm just saying, like, that's my favorite scene, man. I very much appreciated Tony hated communists, too.
Push it to the limit. It was like buying cars and all that shit. I think when...
I'm Tony Montana. Did you fuck with me? Did you fuck with the best? I fucking love it.
You know what gets a lot of people, and that's like something that kind of happened? That thing with the chainsaw. That's the scene that people are like...
Angel and shit? Yeah, that was fucked up.
Yeah, and Manolo was always like flirting out there. No, it wasn't Manolo. Was it Manolo? He was out there flirting instead of like being on the show.
It was Manny. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man.
No,
well,
I like that movie just because, like, everybody's like, "Oh, he was a drug dealer." And
what was his name? Revenga.
I just like the fact that he hated communists. I like the scene where he sticks Revenga is my favorite scene of the whole fucking movie. Yeah,
I like Al Pacino in general. He does good shit, man. I liked him in Godfather 2. Like, not also, but yeah, in Godfather 2 also, and 2, you know what I mean.
Or when he's talking to the immigration officer, and he's like, "Huh, do you want a fucking chifato on every corner, man? Telling you what to think, what to wear? Look at the..." He goes right through the line of like how fucked up communism is, dude.
He's like, okay, we got this guy.
Shit, dude.
I kind of want to watch it again now. I haven't
Right?
seen it in at least
Dude,
5
I
years.
literally just rewind for the first fucking part of that movie, just up to Revenga. Right? I fucking love that shit, dude.
Oh my
Ever
god.
see that meme where it's like some guys don't, what is it? Not all guys want sex. Some guys just want to walk on the beach holding hands, talking about throwing communists out of helicopters.
There you go.
Fucking love that meme, bro.
Oh yeah. I mean, you find someone special in your life that enjoys that kind of spirit. Oh, you're in heaven. That's what it's all about. Is that Cuban coffee is crazy strong? I think there is some good Cuban coffee out there, but I'm not sure how they're getting it out. Like I know Puerto Rican coffee is very strong, but they don't make it for competition. Like if you're going for competition grade coffee, I think Puerto Rico could compete if they tried. But there's other places that do competition coffee. But Bustelo, like you know what? Give it a shot. Like you go to the store, you got an espresso machine, or you do the American style. I don't know if you even drink coffee.
I mean, I drink a shitload of coffee, and usually it's dark chocolate coffee or espresso, or I have Turkish coffee. I got my own Amblick. I mean, I'm there. Cold press, all of it.
Cold press. Like I'm going to espresso every day. That's what I'm down with.
Try Turkish coffee. It's like fucking. It's like thermonuclear espresso. Do a triple sweet. Promise you'll be like lit. Yeah.
All right. I'll probably get it from Amazon because they probably don't have it at the store here.
Well, yeah, no. So they have the powder, right, that you use. You just got to get it lit. You just like boil it 3 times, however sweet you want. I posted in your thing, WinSec. WinSec is the contemporary. Yeah, your Army. We're both Army. So you probably remember it as School of Americas.
Yeah.
Cool place at Benning, man.
Yeah.
Like we hate it. Blah 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 blah. You know. I'm not saying they don't have a checkered past. Look who they were fighting, dude. They were your buddies, like killing women and children, like Sandinistas and all these other fuckers. You're not killing those guys with overhead airline pillows, bro.
No. You want to do it slow.
Right.
Well, guys.
So was this a good show? I'm sorry I came in a little late. I'm sorry.
No, you know what? I think you saved the show.
Because it's like I got a fucking migraine and it sucks, so it knocked me on my ass. I wanted to make sure I was there for you, brother.
I really appreciate it. We even went longer than I expected, which is great for me because I was like, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to do here? Let me just focus on what the chat wants. But you like came in with like good, interesting topics. And I really appreciate that. Maybe we could do this again someday. I would love it. Like if you're available, maybe a day when your head isn't like with the migraine.
Give me a day where I don't have a migraine, buddy. Well,
you did it anyway, so you're like going above and beyond right now, right? Really appreciate. I want to say goodbye to the chat and thank you all for being here, right? And you know what? Tomorrow I'll probably do it at 8 instead of 8:30. It's just such a crazy day that I had to go for 8:30 today.
Tomorrow, brother. I mean, I would do it. I have to be.
No, I was thinking Mondays you could drop by. Like if that's a possibility. I wouldn't say every day, but unless you wanted to. I don't know. But
I'll try to do Mondays. Give me a week. I got to finish up this lecture series, and then we'll.
Oh yeah. We were talking about like you gonna finish a block on. Yeah. Well, anyways, chat. I'm gonna say goodbye to chat. Chat, thank you for being here. Thank you for helping me out here. I'm gonna close the stream. We'll talk to Jeff for a second over here. Bye, guys.
Hey, guys.